Some stories are etched into the heart of a community, tales of resilience that unfold in the most unexpected of places. This is one of them. In the quiet, meticulously managed sanctuary of Burger Zoo, a dedicated zookeeper went on her morning rounds, her main focus on a pregnant gorilla named Angela. What she was about to discover was not just the routine birth of a new life, but a double miracle. A triumph of nature over tragedy that defied all scientific odds. Angela, a magnificent gorilla scarred by a past of profound loss in the wild, was on the verge of making history. She was about to give birth to twins, a feat so rare that no gorilla twins had ever survived in the zoo's 5-decade history. This is a story of a mother's instinct, the tireless compassion of a community, and an outcome so touching it turned a scientific marvel into a timeless symbol of hope. Before we dive into this incredible journey, we invite you to become a part of our community. Please tell us in the comments below, where are you watching from? Your responses help us connect a global family of nature enthusiasts. And if you believe in the power of these extraordinary stories, please consider subscribing to our channel, Wild Echo Untold, and liking this video. Your support is the echo that helps us share these vital tales. The story begins in the serene enclosure of Burger Zoo, a place designed to mimic the lush beauty of the wild, where a zookeeper named Sasha, with years of hands-on experience, went to check on Angela. Angela was no ordinary gorilla. She was a special, mature silverback female who had spent the first 20 years of her life in the untamed wilderness before being brought to the zoo. Her body bore the unmistakable scars of a difficult past, unusual marks on her hands and face that hinted at a life of challenging encounters and battles for survival. But it was an emotional scar that weighed heaviest. Years ago, in the dense jungle, Angela had lost her first baby to a leopard attack. Now she was pregnant again, a beacon of hope for an entire species on the brink of extinction. As Sasha approached the enclosure, she found Angela in a state of quiet, focused distress. It wasn't the typical restlessness of an expectant gorilla. It was a more profound, primal signal. Angela was moving with a deep, deliberate concentration that signaled a shift in her body. Sasha's heart raced as the truth dawned on her. Angela was in labor. The moment was not just a natural event. It was the start of a story that would not only rewrite the zoo's history, but would capture the hearts of the world.
The news of Angela's pregnancy was a cause for immense celebration at Burger Zoo. It wasn't just another birth, it was a victory against the tide of extinction. It all started when Sasha, the devoted zookeeper, noticed subtle yet significant changes in Angela's behavior. She was exhibiting unusual mood swings and a finicky appetite, classic signs of a new life, but also behaviors that could have other, less hopeful explanations. After careful observation and a successful veterinary test, the news was confirmed. The staff, from the senior directors to the newest interns, were ecstatic. Their cheers and high fives echoed through the corridors. Western lowland gorillas, the species Angela belonged to, are critically endangered, and every new birth is a triumph against extinction. This baby was more than just an addition to the zoo. It was a glimmer of hope for a threatened species, a new generation in a fragile world, and a testament to the zoo's tireless conservation efforts. As Angela's pregnancy progressed, the physical signs became more apparent. Her appetite, a roller coaster of cravings and aversions in the early months, stabilized and became a hearty, consistent hunger. Her belly swelled, and a noticeable sense of calm settled over her. The zookeepers, conducting a routine ultrasound, were stunned by what they saw. The baby appeared to be massive, filling the screen with its powerful shape. They assumed it was a single, very large baby, a common occurrence for a healthy, mature gorilla like Angela. This wasn't just a big baby. This was a sign of a truly remarkable pregnancy. The staff believed they were preparing for the birth of a new silverback, a potential future leader of their troop. They had no idea that the truth of the situation was far more complex than a large baby. They were witnessing the beginnings of a double miracle. The labor was long and difficult, stretching on for what felt like an eternity. The hours were filled with hushed anticipation and worried glances among the zoo staff, who monitored Angela's every movement from a distance. Finally, after what felt like an endless wait, a tiny baby was born. The zookeepers were filled with relief, but it was quickly followed by a touch of confusion. The baby, a beautiful, healthy-looking infant, was small, far smaller than the massive size the ultrasound had suggested. Its size didn't match the long, exhausting labor or the immense size of Angela's belly. It was an unexpected twist in a story that everyone thought they understood, a tiny detail that would soon become the most important part of the tale. The baby was perfect, but its size was a profound puzzle, a clue to the incredible revelation that was still to come.
After the birth of her first baby, Angela, a mother who had carried so much emotional weight, groaned again. It was a deep, resonating sound of immense effort and struggle, a sound that seemed to pull the breath from the room. The zookeepers, who were still in the quiet process of celebrating the first birth and assessing the tiny infant, froze. Their initial relief was instantly replaced by a wave of shock and a growing collective sense of disbelief. It was impossible. It couldn't be. But as Angela continued to push with a primal force, the truth became undeniable. Slowly, a second tiny head emerged, followed by a small, vulnerable body. A second baby was being born. The zoo staff, a tight-knit community of devoted animal lovers, erupted into a mix of screams, gasps, and tears. It was a scene of pure, unadulterated joy and awestruck shock. The impossible was happening right before their eyes, a miracle that no one had dared to dream of. This wasn't just a remarkable event. It was a statistical anomaly that defied science and history. Twin births in gorillas are exceedingly rare, estimated to occur only once per decade in the wild. The biological strain on a mother's body is immense, and caring for two helpless infants at once is a monumental task. In the entire 50-year history of Burger Zoo, only 3 twin births had ever been recorded, and tragically, none of the twins had survived. Angela's situation was not just a surprise, it was a monumental challenge, a delicate dance on a tightrope between cutting-edge scientific care and the powerful force of natural instinct. The joy of the staff was immense, but so was the fear. They were facing a challenge that no one in their zoo's history had ever overcome, and the lives of 2 tiny creatures and their mother's well-being hung in the balance. As if the twin birth wasn't enough of a complication, the babies were born early, before they were fully developed. Their premature state meant they were extremely vulnerable, and every breath they took was a fight. The medical team, a group of expert veterinarians and devoted caretakers, had to make a difficult and heartbreaking decision: to place the tiny infants in incubators to give them the best chance of survival. This decision, though necessary, created a mix of hope and fear among the zookeepers. They knew they were providing the best care possible with the most advanced technology, but nothing could replace a mother's touch. The incubators were a sterile, cold necessity, a barrier between a mother and her children. The public who had followed Angela's story now held their collective breath. They knew this was a high-stakes battle for survival and the future of 2 tiny lives and the emotional well-being of their mother hung in the balance. The news of the twin gorilla birth was a story too powerful to be contained. It spread across the globe like wildfire, a beacon of hope in a world often dominated by bad news. The public, captivated by the story of Angela's resilience and the miraculous birth, showed an overwhelming outpouring of support. Donations poured into the zoo from every corner of the planet, a global community wanting to help in any way they could. The money was a lifeline, helping to fund the specialized round-the-clock care Angela and her premature babies desperately needed. The zookeepers, in turn, recognized their new role as storytellers. They kept the public updated on the family's status with daily posts, sharing photos and stories of the twins' incremental but steady progress. Social media became a live chronicle of their journey, a global gathering of people united by hope. The days and weeks that followed were a tense and emotional period of constant vigil. Every heartbeat was a victory.
Every gram of weight gained, a monumental reason for celebration. The zookeepers, exhausted but fueled by adrenaline, worked tirelessly. They were a team of dedicated professionals and compassionate caretakers, each one invested in the survival of these two fragile lives. Finally, after a period that felt like an eternity, the joyous announcement came. Angela and both of her twins were officially out of danger. A collective, tearful sigh of relief echoed through the zoo and across the internet. The impossible had been achieved. The babies, so fragile and helpless just a few weeks ago, were now strong enough to return to their mother's side. When the time came for the grand reunion, a final moment of heart-stopping tension filled the air. The babies were brought in by hand, a delicate and meticulous process. Would Angela accept them? Would the brief separation, however necessary, have caused a rift? The staff watched with bated breath, their fears silently shared. But Angela, a natural nurturer whose maternal instincts ran deeper than anyone could have imagined, welcomed her babies back without a moment of hesitation. She gently sniffed each infant, her eyes filled with the recognition that transcended time and separation. With her strong, gentle arms, she held each one, a tiny infant nestled securely in each arm. The relief among the staff was palpable, an overwhelming wave of emotion that broke the tension of the past weeks. It was a sight that brought tears to the eyes of everyone watching, a beautiful testament to a mother's love and the unbreakable, primal bond between a mother and her children.
While Angela embraced her new role as a mother of twins, the father, a magnificent silverback named Bowie, maintained a more distant relationship with the babies. This might seem strange to human observers who are used to a different family structure, but it is completely normal for gorilla fathers. Bowie's immense presence was a silent anchor for the family and the troop. His primary role was that of a protector and the undisputed leader, not a direct caretaker. This natural and ancient dynamic allowed Angela to fully focus on her delicate and demanding task of raising two babies, secure in the knowledge that Bowie's watchful gaze was always over them from a distance. In the end, Angela became more than just a gorilla. She became a timeless symbol. A symbol of resilience for an entire species that has faced so much adversity, and a hero for a zoo that had never known such a triumph. Her story was not just a news item. It was a testament to strength and endurance that captivated the world. The idea of a statue in her honor was proposed, a testament to her strength and endurance, a physical monument to a mother who defied history. The story of Angela and her twins became a viral sensation, a wholesome and powerful reminder of the miracles that happen in the world every day. Stories of hope that resonate far beyond the walls of any zoo. This story, etched into the hearts of everyone who heard it, teaches us that even in the face of great loss and pain, hope can be found, and a mother's love can overcome all odds. If this incredible story touched your heart, please subscribe to Wild Echo Untold and join our community. Your support is what allows us to keep telling these powerful and important stories that remind us of the magic in the natural world. Also, we'd love to know what you thought of today's story. Leave a comment below and tell us which part of this amazing journey touched you the most.